Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. We have been on quite the roll lately. This is our second live stream today and our third live stream in the last 2 days. Today, we have another special guest. We have Tony Trombetta from EGS Comics. Tony, it is good to see you, brother.
Thank you, Reggie. Good to be on, brother. Good to see you.
Are you as excited about this as I am?
Oh man, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. This is exciting, man.
So Tony, you've been part of my live streams for a while. Like you've been coming into the live streams for months, making comments since it's been at least, I would want to say it's at least been 4 or 5 months that I've been seeing your name. But yesterday, I think it was yesterday, was the first time that I actually saw your face. So it is definitely good to actually put a name with a face.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, it is. It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, for all the times that we've spoken on the phone and all of that good stuff, you know, it's the first time. So yeah.
Yeah, and this is the first time that the comic book community is being given an opportunity to see you as well, which I think is really important. Because again, people are sending books to you on a regular basis. And I think it's one of those things where it's helpful to actually be able to see the person that you are doing business with. And so that's part of the reason why I'm super excited about this live stream.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm pumped, man. We're gonna bring it tonight, Reggie. We're bringing it. I mean, I'm following up Nerdy Girl, so this has got to be, you know, I got to bring it, man. So
yeah, I finally earlier today cleaned up the drool that was left on my floor after seeing her pull out all of those amazing books last night. I have a feeling I'm not the only one that was cleaning up drool off of desktops and floors because of what she did. It was really impressive, and I'm glad you had a chance to tune in for that.
Yeah, you're not the only one with the drool, brother. That was quite impressive. That just kind of my mouth was just stayed open almost like the whole time. I mean,
it was impressive, man. So let me say hello to a couple of people here in the room, and then we are going to go ahead and get started. My man Tony Sanders is in the room. He is the first one in here. Good to see you, Jethro, Bodine, DT. Evan Tube Raw, it is good to see you, brother. Welcome back. Welcome back to the US. Comic G-Man is here. Randy is here. Comic Books NYC. Big Wheel has arrived. Who else is here? Gorilla Grodd is in the house. Chris, it is good to see you, brother. Rush Die Hard, my Canadian friend, it is good to see you. The Almighty King is here. It is good to see each and every one of you guys again. This is the second live stream of today, and so I'm pumped. It's been a good day in front of the camera, and I have a feeling that today's this evening's live stream is going to be pretty good. And I'm gonna tell you why. Right before this, Tony sends me a message and he says, "Reggie, can you talk?" And I'm like, "Bro, we're about to go live in a little bit. Is everything okay?" Right? So I'm a little panicked, and we get in the pre-meeting, and he says, "I'm going to bring it. I'm going to bring it. I have a couple of announcements." And I'm like, "Really?" So he runs down the 2 announcements that he's going to make. He's doing some cool stuff. He is doing some cool stuff that you guys will have an opportunity to participate in. So stay tuned, because we are going to dig into these 2 announcements that he is going to be making very, very soon. But Tony, I hopefully these announcements that you're going to make land on the people in a positive way, the way that they did on me.
I'm hoping so, man. I'm hoping so. I think it will.
I would agree. So we had an opportunity to help launch EGS a couple of months ago, and that was really huge for me to have an opportunity to give feedback behind the scenes, and then also be part of launching a third-party grading service. That was, a third-party grading service. That was exciting for me. And I want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to be a part of that. For those that didn't see that or haven't seen some of the subsequent streams that we've done, can you tell people a little bit about EGS?
Yeah. Basically, we, well, I should say myself really started this company really basically for you guys, for the community. I mean, I'm a collector myself and have been in the community, and you know, I have just like you guys, you know, have sent in my fair share of books to the other third-party grading services, and I always felt, you know, there's got to be a little bit of a better way, you know, so basically, you know, without backers or investors, I've, you know, pretty much started this thing a couple months ago. And it's going well, man. And, you know, we just we're taking baby steps, but we're really focusing on our core values, man. And this is all meant for the community. We want, we're listening to what you guys want. And if you remember, I was in that video that you made, actually a couple videos that you made where, you were asking people what they wanted from a third-party grading service. And that helped us a lot in what we do and how we do it.
Yep.
I got to thank you immensely, man, for, all the phone conversations, and everything that you've done for the company, for the launch. I got to mention, White Whale. I don't know if White Whale's in the chat, but White Whale's been a huge benefactor too for us for knowledge. Chris from We Love Comics has helped out too. So, we've got a lot of good information from a lot of good people that we are, trying to do for the community. That is what we want to do. We want to make it so, you guys have another choice and you guys are happy with what we do and how we do it.
So you just mentioned two awesome guys.
Yeah.
You mentioned White Whale Comics, who I am a big fan of as like a person, right? His creativity is impressive. His humility is impressive. He is just a good all around guy. And Chris likewise is a solid guy that has given me personally a tremendous amount of feedback, unsolicited and solicited, all of which has helped make my channel a lot stronger. So I think if you wanted advice, those are two awesome dudes to get some advice from, because they're both awesome people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Chris will tell it like it is, man. Even if you don't want to hear it, he's going to tell you. And that's what I like. That's what we need. We need that feedback. We need that honest feedback so we can adjust.
Yep. Feedback is a gift. Feedback is a gift. It's not an easy gift to receive, but feedback is a gift if you look at it the right way. And I think that that's one of the things that I know that you've done is you've taken feedback and you've made changes. And we're actually going to get into some of those changes that you made. But you said something a second ago. You made mention of core values. And I think that's interesting. Can you tell people what are EGS's core values?
Honesty, integrity. I believe it's honesty and security and efficiency. Yes.
Yep. And why are those the core values? How did you arrive at those things as being the core values that were important to EGS and in the community?
Yeah, well, basically it's hearing from the community. That's really a lot of the things that people wanted, and were looking for. And me as well as a collector. Those are things that I want and would look for. So,
and I know one of the things that we spoke a lot about was transparency. Transparency is an important thing when it comes to grading companies. And we're gonna talk a little bit about transparency and how you guys implement transparency a little bit later in the conversation. But you keep coming back to this theme of what the community says to some degree or another is what you guys try to do. And I think that that's a great thing, right? Because I'm a marketer, right? And one of the things that I do as a marketer is market research. I ask the customer, what is it that you really need? And then once I understand that the wants and the needs, then I try to deliver those things to the customer. And ultimately, by doing so, you have a more satisfied customer. But it sounds like you're taking a similar approach.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're doing. And, I want to, while I'm on, like I said, we're not funded, we're not backed. So just because maybe we can't implement everything right now doesn't mean that we won't in the future. Our budget is only so much. So, we are, and I'm sure we're going to discuss this in a little bit, we are looking into doing some other things that we can afford to do. And then there's some other things that, maybe right now we can't afford to implement, but that doesn't mean we're not in the future. So,
and I think that's a great point, because you can't do everything all at once.
Right.
But
Right.
that doesn't mean that you're not interested in hearing the feedback, but you then have to prioritize, is this a near term or more of a long term type of thing that we do?
Exactly. Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about grading,
hmm
right? When it comes to grading,
hmm
what standard does EGS adhere to?
That's a very easy question, Reggie, and I'm going to put it right here for everybody out there. This is it. Can you see it? This is my Bible. To
Yep.
everybody out there, this is how EGS grades right here. This and this only. We don't make up any other, uh, you know, grading standards or anything else. It is strictly by that book that we grade. And that's pretty much it, period, man. As far as what the other companies do, I know some of them kind of go by that, but they kind of have other, standards that they might implement. We don't. We just go strictly by what the Overstreet, how they grade and their grading system.
So it would be safe to say that if I had a copy of Overstreet
Yes.
and I have a book next to me, then I would very easily be able to understand why the book that you graded received the grade that it did by looking at the Overstreet guidance that is provided for that grade. Is that fair?
That's fair. It can tend to be a little confusing. The actual book, sometimes, you might be like, oh, why is this or why is that? But for the most part, it's pretty simplified, but there are things like, the course that I took on this book, we had to dissect it. We dissected the whole book. So, and that took a lot of time. But you can still pretty much get a pretty good judgment of what you're going to receive. Yes, if you were to purchase one of those and kind of go through it.
So let's rewind. Let's rewind. You said something interesting a second ago. You said the course that you took on the
Yeah.
Overstreet Guide. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I didn't know that there was such a thing as a course.
Yeah, there's a course out there that you could take for comic book grading, and it's pretty intense. You have to pass a test, but basically it tears apart the Overstreet book. We go over each grade from 0.5 all the way up to 10.
Okay.
We actually compared that with CGC, kind of how they looked at the book and how Overstreet looked at the book. There was also restoration training in there. It showed you all about restoration, what to look for, and it was a pretty intense class, man. I've had a lot of, like I said, I worked at a comic shop for 7 years under this guy who was really good, and he kind of taught me the basics of grading, so I knew when books came in, if he was busy, I can go ahead and grade them and actually tell people what they were worth and everything, but when I took this course, man, it was tough, but it really helped me as a grader. Really, like, there were things in grading that I didn't even know there was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very cool. I honestly didn't know there was such a thing as a course that you can take on grading. I think that that's impressive that you found that you took that you implemented it, and that was after you had years of experience actually grading comics, because
Correct,
you have now the hands-on experience and also the theoretical book learning experience as well, and that makes for a nice combination, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does, and I didn't think it was that intense,
Yeah.
but there's techniques, that they teach you that people don't know about.
Like open the cover and look on the inside. My first experience grading comics was I used to look at the cover and say, "Oh, it looks like a 9.8. It must be a 9.8." I've learned since those early days that there's a lot more to it.
Here's a little example for you, Reggie. Buy the Overstreet guide here. Do you know you can have a book that looks gorgeous, right? I mean, just brand new, off the shelf, looks gorgeous, right? All of a sudden, you look down in one of the corners, and there's maybe a crease yay big that breaks color.
Mm-hmm.
You know now that gorgeous book, right? I can't even give it a 9.0 in Overstreet standard. It would come in, it would start at an 8.5 because a 9.0 starts at no corner creases whatsoever.
Yep.
And it's and that blows my mind away sometimes. You know what I mean?
Hurts my feelings, brother.
Yeah, it
Hurts
does. It
Is
does.
that for the back cover and the front cover if you have something like that?
Yes, none allowed at a 9.0 whatsoever.
Hurts my heart.
Corner.
Hurts my heart.
It hurts.
So give me a little rundown of the services that EGS actually offers. Because I saw someone here in the room a second ago talking about the fact that they actually like your raw grading service. But can you give us a rundown of the services that you guys offer?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a basic raw service. A basic raw service is basically we look over the book, we give it a raw grade, we put it in a Mylar bag in backing board, and put a certificate of authenticity with the grade on it and an EGS sticker, but there is no grader's notes, there's no restoration check. It's just a basic raw grade. That's a $10 service.
Yep. And to my knowledge, CBCS, I think, is the only grading company that does raw grading. Is that correct?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I mean, I think personally, I think that that's always been one of the big differentiators between you and some of the others, right? Because yes, CBCS does do it, but and I think that offering is a nice one. Like you don't see too many raw graded books out there. There's not a whole lot, but I like that feature. And you actually did, I think, one for me that I sent into. You did a raw grading for me because I kind of dig the service.
Yes, I did. I did one for you. Yes, I remember that.
Yep. So we have raw grading, and then what else do we have?
Well, this here is what I like to call the game changer. And this is something that nobody else has. We also have a choice raw grading service. Now that is a step up from the raw grade, okay? That is, we do the same service as far as no restoration check, no grader's notes, okay? But we step up the security of the book, okay? Basically, we put it into a slab with a purple label that just has the title and the grade, okay? But you can access the book in this slab. You could take the side panels off, open it up, take out the inner well, and take the book out of the inner well to read it, show it off, do whatever you like. So it's kind of like that added security. So, you know, if you want to display it on your desk, you know, you can display it and then take it out whenever you want. You want to hang it on the wall, you can hang it on the wall, but you can take it out whenever you want. But again, it's just a raw grade. It's not a certified
And
grade.
what's the price for that?
The price for that is $20.
So your basic raw grading is 10. Your
Yes.
step up service, because the basic is 10 with the Mylar, the step up from that is a accessible slab version for 20. Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
And those are the two raw services that we, that we offer. You know, like I said, I think that raw choice is pretty cool.
So one of the questions that we have here in the room from my buddy DS Comics, he says, so if you're taking the book out of the slab, is it still holding the grade that was assigned to it?
It is, but it isn't. If you damage the book, or if you feel you crease the book or anything that would lower the grade, then we would ask for you to mail it back to us, and we would put another label with another grade if you choose. If you don't choose and you want to you bend it or whatever, and you want to keep the grade on there, I mean, that's up to you, you know. But
again, what
leave
I
it up
want
to
to
you.
clarify is that what you are reflecting here is essentially a segment of the market that has said they want to have their book graded, but they don't want their book entombed permanently in a slab. Those are basically the words that I've heard people describe. And so what you're doing is you're giving someone an option who wants a grade, who wants protection, but who also wants accessibility. Is that fair?
That's right on point, man. That's right
Mm,
on. I
mm.
mean, I can't. You said it. I mean, that is it. And you know, and again, you know, that grade that we put on is the grade that we saw it at in that condition.
Yep.
Whatever happens after that is up to you.
Yep. So so those are your two options for raw
Correct.
books, raw grading. Let's
Correct.
step away from that and let's go to the next level up. Talk to us about that.
All right. The next level up is a regular universal certified blue label. That is $25 for modern. That's going to be your choice modern. Then basically it's the same service. Your choice silver and your choice gold is the exact same service, only those two are $30 instead of $25. So your choice silver and choice gold are both $30. Okay. And your moderns are 25, and the turnaround time is 14 days. So, you know, I've heard some people say, well, you know, that's kind of a little pricey. But you know, like I said, we are on a, like I say, we have to make some money on how we do this. And
Yep.
if I could do it a little cheaper, I would. But I mean, I still think if you compare a 14-day turnaround with the other companies, we're still way cheaper.
Yep.
If you want to look at it that way.
So talk to me about what's the difference between the choice options, the choice modern, silver, and gold. How is that grading different than the raw grading? Talk to us about that.
All right, the blue label, the $25 and $30, that is the full Monty, man. That is the full service where we do, you know, the restoration check. You get grader's notes. Right now, the grader's notes are on the certificate of authenticity that comes with it. So, you know, you're getting those options, and you know, your book is sealed. You know, it's entombed, as you would say, in a slab. So that's the difference. Basically, you're getting more. You know, you're stepping up the service.
Yep.
in that grade. And we also have the signature verification and the signature series label. So
talk to us about the signature, because I think there was a question in the chat a few moments ago about signature authentication and verification. Talk to us about that.
Yep, we do witnessed signatures, and we do signature verification if it wasn't witnessed and you've had an artist sign your book. Kind of, I mean, CBCS I think offers the same thing. I don't think CGC offers that, but it's the same label. Okay, you're going to get a gold label whether it's a witnessed signature or if it's a signature verification, and it'll say so on the label. That's how we designate it. I think CBCS has two different colors for that, but we just stick to one color because of the cost and stuff. So we just figured, hey, you know, whether it's witnessed or whether it's not, it's
Same
your
label.
gold label.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. And then how do you go about verifying the signature? Can you give us some detail on that? Like, how do you actually decide that Stan Lee's signature is the real Stan Lee signature that is on the book that is actually in front of you? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have a internal database here that is humongous. I mean, it is it's probably one of the vast that I've ever seen. It cost us a pretty penny to get, but you know, there's a system, and we have that in place. Also, you know, there are courses that I took as well as, to learn how to verify. There's certain things in a signature that are always going to be constant, and you have to know kind of what to look for in those signatures. And then you also have your artists that change their signatures, like their signature back in the day. Now all of a sudden they might sign a little different. They change.
Yep.
So, have to keep up with that sort of thing, and that we do here. So
very nice, very nice. Let me know when you want to put my signature into that database.
Okay, will do.
No, that's cool. I mean, I think that that's one of the big questions that people have a lot of times, right? Is I have this signed book and I want to send it in, but if I send it here, it's going to get this label that I don't really want. And if I send it here, maybe the processing time will be a little long. And what I'm hearing is that there again goes back to your original point. There is now a different option to actually have that signature verified and encapsulated, and you actually get a decent label that you may want. Fair enough?
Right. Yes.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. Because one of the questions in the room, there was a question around the differences between the different options. And I think that we've kind of addressed that. But I would definitely ask if there's some area of uncertainty, make sure you guys enter your questions into the field in case we miss some details that you guys want to revisit. The Almighty King is basically making a point that he didn't know that there was a database of signatures. So he's actually impressed by that, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
I think that,
a lot of money.
I bet that it did.
Yeah.
I bet. Oh, one of the questions here that is in, someone just dropped in is, do the database that you have of signatures, does it extend to like actors and sports figures, or is it limited to the comic book industry?
It has everything, man. Sports, movies, artists.
Okay.
You name it, it's got it.
That's super helpful. That's super helpful because as you know, a lot of people are going to cons and they're getting signatures from celebrities who were in their favorite movie or their favorite TV show. And it's good to know that you can also send those signatures into EGS as well.
Right. And also, I mean, we also, which saves us a little time, which you don't have to do. But, if you have a certificate of authenticity from Dynamic Forces or whoever has witnessed, that signature, we will, we will honor that certificate. Then we won't look it up per se. But if it's just a book that doesn't have any certificate or anything like that, then we will go and verify it. So if you have, some certificates of authenticity from whoever, just put it in the book, and we'll honor that as a signature.
And what is the cost for the signature verification? Because what I just heard there, what I heard, and you tell me if I'm right, is if I have a certificate of authenticity from someone else, then that negates the need for you to access that database and thus may save me some money. That's how I heard that. Is that how you intended that?
No, it's not gonna. It just saves me time. That's all. It doesn't save any money. It just saves me an extra little bit to go and research.
I tried, fellas. I tried to get them. It didn't work. No, but I think that's an important distinction to make because people may have heard it the way that I did, that if you have a COA and it's already certified, then you shouldn't have to verify because it's already been done. Therefore, you can just encapsulate and grade and then encapsulate the book. So I think that was a very important clarification that you just gave us there. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool. So we're going to kind of transition into like our segment 2. But before we get there, I made an announcement at the beginning of this video that you were going to be making some announcements. You were going to be dropping some bombs, right? So let's go ahead and drop the first announcement that you told me about before this live stream started.
All right. Basically, what we want to do for you guys is anybody that is in the live stream watching the live stream on Regie's channel, or this also goes to anybody else who watches or views it after we're live that's just gonna view the video. What we're gonna do is give a 15% discount of any submissions of 5 books or more you're automatically going to get a 15% discount off the bottom line price. And what we would ask you to do is when you're on our submission form, if you go all the way down to the bottom, there's a little line for notes and suggestions. If you could just put Regie 15 on that little line, we'll know that you viewed or watched the live stream, and we will go ahead and give you that 15% discount.
Now, here's the thing, Tony.
Yeah.
If they spell my name with 2 G's, they get no discount. Okay.
Okay. You got it.
2 G's, no discount. It is 1 G. That's all I'm saying to you. REGIE 15% off. There we go.
If you put 2 G's, then we charge you 15% more.
I have no problem with that.
There you go. There you go.
But I think that's a very generous thing that you're doing there. Is there a limit, right? Is there a limit? Is there a time limit? Because some people are, I promise you, will send books in. There's no doubt about that, because I know that many people have, because people send me messages and say, I just sent my books in to Tony. But they may not say Tony, but they say EGS.
Yep.
Is there a time limit? Are you going to cut this off after 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Like, how long are you going to let this go?
No, I mean, as long it's on for as long as people view this video. I mean, you know, if it's a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know, as long as they put that Regie 15 down there, we're going to know that they watched the video and they're going to get their discount. Period.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That is very generous of you, Tony. Hopefully people take advantage of this opportunity to save themselves a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And you know, doing something that is a little different than the norm, right? This whole thing started between you and I because I made some statements about the importance of competition, right? And how I am a fan of competition. And that's when you reached out to me and was like, okay, well, let's talk about competition and what it looks like. And we've had wonderful dialogues as a result of that. So my hope is that people take this opportunity to test out the service.
Yes, and if anybody doubts that, they could ask Reggie's wife.
I think our first conversation was an hour-long conversation as I was in the car with my wife to spend some time with her. Tony's like, can you talk for a couple of minutes? An hour later, I'm looking at my wife and she was not happy with me.
Yeah, I think the bounty is still on my head, Regie.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. She is coming for you. There's no doubt about that. So let's transition and let's start talking about some other topics here. I recently did a video on declared value in FMV for the purpose of submitting books in to get graded. And I did that because I did a live stream and there was some ambiguity around certain things and there was a little bit of confusion. So I did a follow-up video to provide clarity. And I think that EGS has a slightly different approach to declare value / FMV, however you look at it. Can you talk to us a little bit about that from your perspective?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Be happy to. This is another one of the things that, again, like I said, when we listen to what people are saying and what people want. And basically what we do is the FMV is solely based on your return shipping. Okay. We leave that up to you. Okay. Whatever you want to put your book at a FMV, you could put 0, you could put 100, whatever you're comfortable with. That's what we're going to put in return insurance for on your return shipping. Okay. So if you want to use an example, you're sending in a whole 181. Okay. If you want to declare 0 for the FMV, that's fine. Okay. We don't tell you, well, you know, it's really $1,200. So now we're going to bump you up and pay this amount. You know, we leave that up to you. If you want to roll the dice and you want us just to ship it back to you with the USPS free basic insurance, which I think is up to $49 or $50 worth of coverage for free. If you're cool with that, then we're cool with that.
Yep.
You know, we leave it up to you, you know, whatever, because listen, that was the thing, you know, because some people, you know, they can only afford maybe $50, right, to grade a book. Now, in order for them, maybe with the other companies, right, to do that, they have to make their fair market value a lot less. right? Because otherwise they're going to get bumped up to a tier to where maybe now they're paying $80 or $90 for that book. And, we really don't think that's right.
So it sounds like the best way to think about the declared value as it relates to EGS is more about the replacement value of that comic should it be damaged in transit. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And if I had insurance that allowed me to have coverage when my book is being mailed, because I do, then I theoretically could put 0 on that line and that would have no impact on anything that EGS does with my books.
Correct.
Okay. Very good. And do you have recommendations? Because in that video that I did on FMV, I actually put some recommendations in there for how to determine. And this wasn't one of the questions I intended to ask you, but I'm ad-libbing here. Do you have any recommendations for how to determine FMV to actually complete that field to ensure that someone has an adequate amount of insurance for their book?
Yeah, I would probably, go to one of your sponsors, right? GoCollect. I think that's a great way to kind of figure out FMV.
Yep.
eBay, check the solds, on eBay,
Yep.
Things like that. But at the end of the day, it's still up to you,
Yep.
right? That's what we want to make clear.
Yep.
So,
and one of the questions that was being asked here in the room was, how many books can actually fit on an invoice? What does a full invoice actually look like?
It is 21, I believe, 21 books or 25. I think it's 25.
25 books
per submission.
Okay. And I think someone was asking that question. So very good. That's super helpful. And Gorilla Ground, we're actually going to get to that question that you're asking in just a few moments. So bear with me.
Also, Reggie, on the submission form,
Mhm.
okay, it automatically is going to calculate what your insurance is going to be when you put that fair market value in there. So if you put 0, when you look down under the insurance at the bottom, it's going to say 0, right? And I think it's $450 up to $100. I think $100. Then it's like $450 for the insurance, and then it goes up the more
Yep.
the more that you put down there. But it automatically figures it out for you.
Yep.
on the submission form. So
very good. Very good. That's super helpful. It kind of tabulates that stuff for you. So when I was on Instagram, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago. I think I saw you at a con down there in Florida. How was that con? How did things go? I think that was your first one. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was our first con experience, and it went pretty good, man. The turnout wasn't what we expected it to be.
Okay.
It would have been a better turnout, but I think it was good just for our experience, to do one.
Yep.
Also, it gave us a chance to, meet people, make some connections. We made some pretty good connections while we were there. And, the people that we did get seemed very, very positive and very receptive to the products. Like, that's the thing about cons is, sometimes, Reggie, when you look at a slab on a picture,
Mhm.
on YouTube or whatever, you only get that picture, right?
Yep.
When you're live there, you could pick it up and touch it and feel it. And, it's just a different experience when you're live there. So the response that we got was very positive as far as our slabs go. And, when people touched them and, were looking at them and everything, they were like, wow, they're different, but they're nice.
Yep. I think that's one thing. I think you're right. You can see it, you can read it, you can watch it, but I think it's different when you actually touch it and you get to experience it. Because I spent some time with your slabs here in the room, like checking them out, early on, and then subsequent to that, when I actually sent in an order. And it's a different thing. It's like anything else. You have to sometimes experience it. And so it sounds like it's one of those things that you don't know what to expect until you get out there. And then once you get out there, then you realize just how impactful and engaging the opportunity was. And it sounds like it was a pretty rewarding experience for you guys.
Yeah, it was. And, you know, just to get that feedback from the people, you know, was nice. And, you know, just their expression alone when they were like, wow, another third party grading service, you know,
Yep.
just that alone too was very, you know,
Yep.
helpful. It gave us a good, you know, I just wish there were more people, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So to that point of more people, are you guys planning to do any additional cons when you can actually maybe hit up a larger con, maybe expose the, you know, the company and the slabs to more people?
Yeah, that's kind of what the other announcement was. We are.
I need one of those things where I can go boom, 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 boom when it's like announcement time. Sorry, I need some sound effects. Maybe that's the next upgrade that I'll do here on the channel. But okay, so let's do the second announcement because that was a beautiful segue. I have to
Yeah,
applaud
man,
myself
that was right on point, man.
for that. Go ahead, brother.
I think it's the new mic. It's really stepping up the game, man. I tell you.
Well done, Tony. Well done. All right, so second announcement. Second announcement, people. Here we go, Tony.
So basically, guys, what we did actually just today, we just made a GoFundMe account because EGS is looking to get a booth or a table at MegaCon in Orlando. If any of you don't know about MegaCon, that is probably the biggest Comic-Con that Florida has to offer. It's a 4-day event.
Ooh,
Actually, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're looking at the attendance to actually be up to almost around 100,000 people for the 4 days.
wow.
Yeah. So we are looking to get in there and get a table in there. But, you know, of course, like I said before, you know, we don't have investors and we don't have backing. And, you know, it's a little good chunk of change to get a table in there. So basically what I did is I opened a GoFundMe account, and I am asking everybody in the community if they find it in their heart to help us out so we can get there. I think that, you know, obviously, Reggie, you know, the bigger we become, the more we can do
Yep.
for everybody.
Yep.
So basically, you know, if we can get into this event, I believe that it is going to be a huge, huge success for our company. I mean, just to meet that many people,
Yep.
I mean, and show off our products, I think it's really going to put us on the map.
And it sounds like there are several people in the chat right now that have actually gone to what is it, MegaCon, and are saying really good things about it. There's also a recommendation for me to get a soundboard, so maybe I'll start me a GoFundMe account so I can get a soundboard or something like that. Have you been to MegaCon before?
Yes.
As a spectator, yeah.
As a spectator, yes.
And I'm guessing they have like the cosplay and the artist row and all that kind of stuff. A 4-day con has got to be a big deal, right?
Oh yeah, it's huge, man. There's cosplay, there's anything and everything that you want. I mean, celebrities. Oh my God. I mean, I want to say Shazam is going to be there. Zachary Levi is going to be there. Keith Sullivan, Stephen Amell from Arrow, Michael J. Fox. I mean, there's
that's cool.
A ton of celebrities and stuff that are going to be there. Comic artists, of course, are going to be there. I mean, the thing is huge.
A couple of people have reached out to me asking me if I was going to come, and I was like, I don't really do crowds, so I don't think that I'll be there. And it sounds like this is a massive con. It sounds like it's a massive one. So I want to ask you a very direct question, and I'm not a big fan of talking about numbers, but it was a question that was asked in the chat, so I will blame the chat for the question. What is your goal for the GoFundMe account? Because that's by way of answering the question, how much is the table?
Yeah, our goal is to basically raise $1,050 is our goal. That's really what we're going to need to make it possible for us to be there and get a table. You know, You
And,
know,
and when is WonderCon? I'm sorry, MegaCon. Sorry.
MegaCon is May 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, but we have to have all the funds in by March 14th.
Okay, so you have a little time.
We have a little time. We have a little time, and you know, I actually have the address. It is if you go to GoFundMe.com/EGS the number 2 MegaCon. So it's EGS.
One more time.
It's GoFundMe.com/EGS the number 2 and MegaCon. So basically, it's EGS to MegaCon, only with the number 2 instead of being spelled out TWO.
And what we'll do is we'll actually put the link to the GoFundMe in the description for this video. So if you do want to help EGS and Tony get to MegaCon and want to donate some money, the link will be in the description at the end of this video when it gets loaded up. And the goal is $1,050 is the goal. Hopefully you guys will find it in your heart to make a donation to help these guys get where they are trying to go.
Yeah, man. And also we're going to, everybody that makes a donation, we are going to have a donation board at MegaCon with all your names on it, thanking everybody for their donations and helping us get there. That will be displayed on the table.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. I think, you know, I think it's one thing. I think acknowledging the generosity of people is always a good thing, and it matters not the size of the contribution, but it's the token and the extending of one's hand, if you will, with some money in it goes a long way. So shout out to everyone who makes those donations. Tony, I will make a donation to you as well, brother. I just decided to do that in this very moment.
Oh, thank you. Greatly appreciated, brother. Greatly appreciated.
You're welcome.
We're looking forward to it, man. I hope we can go. It would be a really good thing for us. Huge thing.
Well, I think you guys are going to get there. I really do. I really think you guys are going to get there, and hopefully this video will help him. I don't know how many people are in this chat right now. 56 people watching. Hopefully, a decent number of people will make the donation to help you guys out, because I think it's a worthwhile cause. And again, it's one of those things that if you say that there needs to be competition, and if you want to see change in the industry, this is one way that you can bring about that change, you know. And I think you guys are doing your part, and hopefully we can contribute in some small way to what it is that you guys are trying to do.
Yes, I agree. Thank you.
So you guys launched, I did the announcement, what was it, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, something like that. Talk to me about the changes that you guys have been making, because I know you've been getting feedback from people, because I know people have told me, I reached out and said this, that, and the other to them. So I know you guys are getting feedback. Talk to me about the changes that you guys have made based upon the last few months of grading, slabbing, and sending books out to customers.
Well, yes, and I'm sure the general public, as I would say, don't really know the story about the first set of comics that I sent to you. I don't know if you remember that conversation.
I remember.
There were some issues. Again, this was like our very first order shipped out, especially going all the way to California.
Yep.
So there were some issues there that needed attention. And we definitely, as you know, because you did that unboxing afterward, we did take care of those issues. So basically some of those issues that we were having was having the books move inside the slab when we shipped them. So by the time it got to you, you know, the book might be a little crooked or to one side because the books were moving. So what we decided to do is I got with my guy who supplies us the slabs and the inner liners, and we created a different inner liner. Okay. And basically what happens now is I myself am sealing the books inside the inner liner. So the inner liner comes with the top sealed and the bottom sealed. The right and left are open. Okay. So now I can just slide the book in through the sides and I can seal it close enough to where that book isn't moving.
Yep.
Okay. So that we addressed that, and also we addressed how we ship. You know, I'm sure you mentioned the box within a box within a box.
Yep.
Right. So, you know, we've also done that. So we've stepped up our shipping game as far as making sure that, you know, the books are in there. They're not going to move when they get to you.
And let's be honest, that's an important thing, because, and I've done several videos on this about not UPS, United States Postal Service not caring about comics, right? Shippers are not careful with boxes. They will toss them over fences. They will toss them onto trucks and off of trucks. They don't take care, partly because they don't even know what's inside the thing, right? And if you have a comic that is delicately placed in a slab that is mistreated, you can have some shifting. And that's basically what happened as the book moved from Florida to California. And we had some conversations. We had some solid conversations. And you were like, I will take care of this. Second shipment arrived, no problem, right?
Well, you know, listen, my heart dropped when you showed me how they got to you.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not good. You know, I mean, my heart was like, oh my God, we gotta think of something here on the fly. You know, we gotta fix this problem, because, you know, we can't have this happening. So yeah, that's when, you know, I immediately got together with, you know, the guy who supplies me with these things, and you know, we figured it out. So
Yep.
as you know.
So you've made changes to the inner well that allows you to get the book better centered, better positioned within that inner well to prevent the shifting inside. You've also modified how you're shipping books, right? It's a box within a box within a box that gets shipped out to people. Both of those things, I think, have had a huge improvement, at least from what I've heard and also what I've seen. I'm actually looking at your box right now on the floor. I use it as a trash bin now. But
Yeah.
what other changes have you guys made?
Well, I'll tell you what, I got a huge idea from Chris, and I will show you right here. One of the changes we made is I added more security stickers to the slab. I used to just have the ones that go on the first layer that go on the left, right, and bottom, and then I only had one other one on the bottom, right?
Yep. Can you hold that up so people can actually see that? Because there are some people that haven't seen EGS's slabs, right? So let's hold this thing up so people can see.
This happens to be from an order that I'm getting ready to ship. I got a 21 book order, Reggie, which was really nice.
Ooh.
So this will show you, let me move my hands here. You could actually see the 2 security stickers that I've added on each side, plus the one on the bottom.
Now, why did you make that modification, right? Because before you only had the security sticker on the bottom. Right. Why was it necessary to have the one on the bottom, and why did it become important to add the security stickers on either side? Talk about that.
Really, I think it's just for the fact of just maybe a more peace of mind to the consumer, you know, in case there was any doubt that, you know, they weren't in there good, it wasn't sealed up any good, you know, is it easy to get to the book with just one of those stickers on the bottom? So I think with adding those 2 on the sides, I mean, that's just a slam dunk pretty much now, you know. I mean, there should be no concerns. I mean, you're going to tell if that book was somebody tried to get in there and take it out.
And let's back up just a little bit. So the slabs that you are using are slabs that are accessible slabs by design. Right?
They're the same slab that when you get the raw choice grade, right? The ones that you can take the sides off, get in, and take it out. The slab itself is the same slab. Okay. The difference is the inner well. Okay. The inner wells are different in the 2 services. Okay. The inner well on the raw grade, you can get the book out of the inner well.
By design.
By design. In the other service, the book is sealed in there, in the inner well. So you have to cut it open if you want to get it out. If you access the slab through the security stickers, then you get to the inner well. Now you're going to have to cut the inner well open to get the book out.
Yep.
So that's really the difference.
So basically what you've done is you've sealed the inner well. You've closed up the inner well into the slab.
Yes.
And then you've added security stickers so that you would have to tamper with the security stickers first.
Yes.
Then you would have to tamper with the inner well. And at the end of the day, if someone were to do all that, you should be able to see that that book has been tampered with. So the whole thing is to give people peace of mind that the book that they're getting from EGS is actually the book that was graded and represented on the label. Correct?
Correct.
There we go.
Yes. Absolutely. And like I said, there are 2 layers of security stickers on there, not just the silver ones that you see. Before the silver ones go on, we have transparent security stickers that go on the sides and the bottom that cover those rails. Okay, so all the rails are covered with the transparent security stickers first. Then those silver security stickers go on after that. So there's actually 2 layers of security stickers. So
very nice. And I think that recommendation you said actually came from Chris at We Love Comics, who is a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of his. I think he's a huge fan of mine, but that recommendation came from Chris. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
One of the comments that was just posted in the chat here a second ago, who was that from? From Comic G-Man, was about UV protection. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, the slabs. First of all, here, why don't I say this? You really don't know until you pick up and feel the slab for yourself. But really, I think the difference between our slabs and the other, as you have mentioned, we are thinner. Our slabs are are thinner than the other guy's slab.
The profile, the side profile is thinner.
Yes, but our plastic is different. That is what separates everything. We use a harder plastic, and you can, when you bang on that thing, you can tell the difference in plastic. So in the plastic itself, there is UV protection. Bro, I don't know how they do this, but apparently they put UV protection in the mold with the plastic. That's what I was told. And there's actually a video on YouTube. If you go to Comic Skins website, he's the distributor that I use. There's a video on there to where they test the slab with the UV protection. But brother, I don't know how they do it.
I don't get involved in matters such as that, so I'm going to have to take your word for it. And I would definitely encourage people, if they're curious about the level of UV protection that is offered, to go to Comic Skins website, watch that video, because I'm guessing the answers will be there for you.
I'm going to check with my manager here, who's sitting. Do we have that on our website? Do we have that video? Okay, that video is on our website, Reggie. So they could even go to our website and the videos on there.
Go ahead and shout out the URL so people have that, please.
Yep, it's EGS Comics Grading. Okay.
So
yeah.
So let's start talking a little bit about the future as we come into the close here. Let's talk a little bit about the future. We're going to get you to MegaCon. You're going to MegaCon. I'm guessing there's going to be some other cons that you'll kind of do down the future. One of the big questions, as we were just talking about slabs, and my buddy Alex, the Comic Quarter, just asked this question a second ago. It was on my list, brother, so you had to be patient. Is there a chance that EGS will develop its own slab at some point in the future?
Wow. I would say, if need be, yes. But we, for one, again, have to be in a financial place to do it if we deem we need to change.
Yep.
We feel good about the slab that we have now. We're not making any apologies for what we have. We think it's a really good product. But if something better comes along and we can afford to do it, then yes, we're going to do it. But let me tell you, man, they are quite expensive.
I bet.
to just get a mold for
I
these.
bet. I bet.
So
I'm in the fitness, right? And I have my own line of bumper plates. And I can tell you, to get in the game of making your own bumper plates for a gym is expensive. First, you have to buy the mold, which is crazy expensive. Then you actually have to buy the actual materials to go in the molds, which is also expensive. But it's an investment that you make. But we didn't start out with that. Day one, we started out with spray painted, if you will, spray painted or painted bumper plates that were generic. And we eventually, when we had enough customers, moved into the mold. So I'm hearing you basically say the same thing.
yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of a hard question because, I know that, CGC has changed their cases every so many years, right? Uh, CBCS, I don't know if they've changed their cases or not yet.
I'm not sure.
I know PGX is about to.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes, they're about to, and they've been in business for 14 years. So they've had the same case for 14 years, and now they are supposedly coming out with a new case, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So how many years will it be before we decide to make a change?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Yep.
That's going to depend on certain factors, I guess.
And I think your response is a legitimate response, right? The slab that you have now works. Let's just acknowledge that, right? I think most people would want to have their customized thing, but you have to be in a position to do that, right? Which means that you need a solid customer base that will put you in a position to do those things. Again, to your point, when and if you deem it necessary to do it. So I don't want to belabor that point because I think that you've made your point on that one. But I wanted to ask the question because it was in my mind and it was also in the chat. So I wanted to at least acknowledge that. Fair?
Yeah, and there's a lot that goes into that. You know what I mean, Reggie? It's not just, okay, we're gonna put in a new case. I mean, how do we design it?
Yep.
I mean, one of the big things about our slabs is we're different, and we like being different. We felt we didn't want to copycat anybody. You know what I mean? Why copycat everybody else when we can make something a little different on our own, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into that, I mean, but to say that if we're going to eventually do it or not, I would probably say sure. If, like I said, if we need to, we're gonna do it. But there's gonna be a lot that goes into it if we do.
Yep. Very good. So one of the other questions that I had here and that some other people have asked in the room is about future services, one of which being cleaning and pressing. Is there any chance that you guys will start to do cleaning and pressing in the future?
The answer is yes. Definitely yes. Right now, I am looking for somebody that's reputable and somebody that I can trust that does this, that will clean and will press, okay? But they have to be local. It has to be something to where when you send me your books for a clean and press, I don't have to remail it somewhere. I don't want to add that extra step into it because these are our babies, right? I mean, the less we have to deal with mail, the better.
Agreed.
Right? So as soon as I can find somebody local that I can trust and know they could do a good job, I can, bring them to him, or he can come here and pick them up, do the job, and drop them back off, or I'll go pick them up. But it has to be somebody that I can do that with because I don't want to remail them back out to somebody.
And is it safe to say that you don't have a recommendation right now for a preferred pressing and cleaning service because you haven't found someone? Is that a fair statement to make?
That's a fair statement. I haven't found anybody yet, but I'm sure there's some people out there, that I'll find eventually here. So, But as of right now, no. That's why we don't offer it. But
and one other thing that I wanted to talk about that we talked about offline was people can mail you comics all day for grading and signature authentication. But I think if people are local in the Florida area, they also either have or will have some other options to get you books. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you live anywhere, we are in Palm Bay, Florida, so which is Central Florida, kind of on the coast. But if you live in our vicinity, within probably, I don't know, whatever you're cool with driving, we do have a pickup and drop off at I believe it is Kingdom of Comics. It is a brand new shop that just opened up here in Palm Bay that is now an official EGS pickup and drop off. So if you are in the area, you can always stop by there and drop your books off, and we will pick them up and grade them and do your service and drop them back off at the comic shop, and you can, pick them up. So that is something new that we just actually nailed down about a week ago. So
that's very cool. That's very cool to give people that option that, to your point, don't necessarily want to mail books, because every time you put them in the mail, you are taking some risk, right? Even all the insurance in the world, you are taking some risk. And if I were in Florida, I would probably take advantage of the drop-off feature, which I think is just really cool, versus having to give them to FedEx or UPS to actually send them in. So I think that's a cool service that you guys offer.
Yeah, and that's just one, Reggie. We hope to get a couple more. I mean, honestly, I've been so busy with the company and this and that. That's the first comic shop I've actually been to in person to offer this. So there's other comic shops, not only in my city but our neighboring city, that I need to go to and introduce ourselves and maybe make them drop off points as well.
Very nice.
I haven't had the time to actually do that yet.
And whenever you do get around to it, I'm guessing that you'll be posting all of that stuff on the website for people to be able to find that information. Is that fair?
Correct. Yes. Frankie will be busy.
Frankie is the IT guy that I had a chance to meet right before the show began. So shout out to Frankie for keeping us on the air for EGS. So shout out to you, brother.
Yeah.
So one of the other questions that I wanted to ask is, so I think you gave the website address, and I'm actually going to ask you to give it one more time, because I think that people are probably going to have some questions about the services that you offer, right? Anytime there is something new, people tend to have more questions to get them comfortable, right? Sure. You're not shy about the questions. So how can people go about learning more about EGS and also getting in touch with you to get more comfortable with sending their books in?
Well, I mean, we have multiple ways. You can go to EGScomicsgrading.com. That's our website, where you can send in your questions if you have any questions. Social media, we are on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and we are on Instagram. We also have a phone number if you want to call the shop. Our phone number is 321-831-3585. You can call the shop during regular business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We're usually here. You can get in touch with us that way. So there's multiple ways to get in touch with us, man. We make it so it's easy for you guys. If you have any questions or concerns, we like to answer them. And especially like on social media, we try to answer them as quickly as possible. Usually that same day or the next day, you're going to get a response from us.
Customer service, brother. That's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
So we broke 2 pieces of news in this live stream. So I want you to, as we close this thing out, can you revisit the 2 pieces of news for people, starting first with the discount, because you have Shadow Spawn actually asking the question here. So let's revisit the discount announcement one more time first.
Yeah, sure thing. Anybody that is in the stream right now, or that views the stream tomorrow or whenever, on any submission of 5 books or more, you are going to get a 15% discount on the bottom line dollar amount that is owed. And all you have to do is, when you submit on our submission form, at the very bottom, there is a line for notes and suggestions, I think. If you would just put Regie with 1 G, Regie 15, we will know that you have watched the live stream and participated in the live stream, and you will get your 15% discount. So that's something we wanted to do for you guys, for tuning in, being a subscriber to Regie, helping us out as a new company. It's a little something we wanted to give back to you guys, to say thank you for, I mean, the support so far. I mean, I'm ecstatic. I didn't think I would be getting the orders that I've been getting, being so new at this point in time. So I'm very happy about, you know, the number of submissions that I've had already. It's very positive. So, you know, I want to thank you guys for that. So this is kind of our way of saying, you know, thank you. So that's one of the announcements. Plus, I had to do something with Nerdy Girl yesterday, man. I had to. I got to do something, right?
Brother, she brought the fire. I'm gonna say your 15% discount is awesome, but it was not $1 million in comics, brother. I'm gonna just say it. It might be hurtful to hear, but it's not $1 million in comics. But it is a pretty sweet deal that I hope people will take advantage of. And Almighty Liger King is making another announcement here. He's basically saying if you put 3 G's in my name, you actually get all of your grading for free. That is not true.
No, because you know what I would say. I mean, we already know what's going to happen with 2 G's, right? So, yeah,
3 G's is like bonus extra money you get to pay. So that was the first announcement. There was a second announcement that you made. So let's talk about that one as well.
Yeah, the second announcement has to do with us attending MegaCon in Orlando. We are looking to get a booth at that convention, which is the biggest convention that Florida has to offer. And we are asking the community to help us get there and get our name out. You know, the more we can get our name out, the more business we're going to get. The more business we're going to get, the more you guys are going to get. You know, I mean, we're going to have the extra funds to make the changes that you guys are calling for. So we created a GoFundMe page. So if you go to GoFundMe.com/EGS, the number 2 in MegaCon, you can donate whatever you can afford, whatever you feel like doing. Every dollar is appreciated, and that's basically, you know, that's basically it. And you know, your name is going to go on a board that we are going to have at our table with all your names, with all the donators that donated, that got us there. We're going to make sure that everybody is represented, everybody in the community, everybody that's donated to us. We are going to make sure that you guys are represented there. And also, Reggie, just to, I don't think I covered this. We are looking into a change that might be coming soon, and that has to do with our labels. We've had some feedback that you guys prefer grading notes on the back of the label, maybe instead of getting it on the certificate. Maybe putting graders notes on the back, and also making some of the fonts a little bit bigger on the label. And we are working on that as we speak. I have my label designer trying to get that taken care of. Now, you know, that's something that we can definitely change without having to really spend any money. You know what I mean? That's something that we can change, and it'll just automatically, you know, address that concern. So
very nice.
We are looking into it. He actually just sent me a one to look at, and it was kind of so. So you know, we're looking at it, we're working on it, and hopefully maybe in the next month or two we'll have a brand new label. But you know, I think the ones we have for now is pretty decent too. So
Very nice, very nice. So I want to give a quick shout out to Randy. Randy has already made a donation to the GoFundMe account. So shout out to you, brother.
Randy, thank you
I'm
very much.
certain. I'm certain
Thank
that everybody appreciates that on EGSSI. So thank you for doing that. Hopefully others will follow suit as well. There was a question here, Tony, from a couple of people. One of them came from my buddy Big Wheel, who has been here since the beginning of the chat. So I want to acknowledge his question. And it was around the order form. Does the order form have to be printed? Or do you complete it online? Can you talk a little bit about how the order form is completed?
Yeah, the order form is completed. You do not have to print it out and send. If you want to, that's up to you. But once you fill it out and hit that submit button, it automatically comes to us. So, you know, there is no need to print it out. But if you want to print it out and put it in with your books, you know, I mean, that's up to you. But you don't have to.
I think I actually did that because it gave me peace of mind to have all that stuff in there. So, can you show a couple of the books as well? I think you have a couple of books off to your side. Can you show people those books so that they can actually see the slabs again?
Yeah, I got one here for you, brother. I got one. This was, like I said, in that 21 book order. This is a Amazing Spider. This is true to your heart. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 500. Signed by the one and only Stan Lee, J. Scott Campbell, and John Romita Jr. So
wow.
3 huge signatures on that book. I don't know if you can see that pretty good.
Tilted just a little bit.
To the back?
Either way.
Okay.
That's a nice book. Wow. Very nice. So a couple of people were actually asking about not graders notes, but signature verification. So it's great that you actually showed a book that was actually signed. So I think that's helpful. Do you have anything else over there that people can see? I see a little bit of front back over there so people can check out these slabs a little bit.
Yeah, I got a nice special Stan Lee connection Black Panther number 1 signed by Stan Lee. This is a really nice book. I don't know if you could.
Oh, I've seen that book. I've seen that online, but never like in person though. That's cool.
Yeah, that's a beautiful book right there.
Nice gold label on there.
Gold label on there. There's the back.
And that's where, or I think right there is where you actually have the core values at the top that are, I'm guessing you're going to move that over and maybe put the grader's notes in the middle.
Correct. We're probably going to get, we're looking at getting rid of that and maybe just putting it real small somewhere, maybe putting this front sticker that we use here in the front, maybe moving that to the back as well, which gives us more room for a bigger font. Mm-hmm. So we might put that hologram sticker on the back along with the grader's notes and the core, our core values. So we're looking to kind of make that design for the label.
Very nice.
On all of them.
One additional question for you, Tony, is people were asking about census. Do you have a census? And if not, are you maybe planning to do a census in the future? And that's kind of a loaded question, right? Because let's be honest, CBCS doesn't even have a census that they make available, which is why most people can't even tap into it. So it's a question. I think it's a legitimate question, but I think I know the answer. So there you go.
Yeah, no, it's a very good question. And I think CGC is the only one that has it. Do we have it? No. At this point, no. Are we going to have one? We're still thinking about it. It's kind of on the table. It's one of the issues that we're looking at doing maybe in tackling. So the answer is for now, no. Does that mean we're never going to have one? No, we might. But for right now, we do not. But
fair enough.
It is on the table.
So we have some instant customer feedback for you, Tony. We have a couple of people here, at least 3 people, including myself, that are saying, leave the sticker on the front of the label, please.
Okay.
So you wanted some customer feedback. You have some customer feedback. So I want to say again, Tony, that it has been an absolute pleasure to interact with you over these last couple of months. You reached out to me after me doing a couple of videos where I was kind of talking about the spirit of competition, and you took me up on that. And it's been a fantastic experience giving feedback to you honestly seeing the growth, seeing people actually send their books to you and have those books come out, and then actually see people do YouTube videos and Instagram posts featuring EGS slabs. It's been cool to watch. And I want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to be part of that. I want to thank you for coming on the live show, taking these questions from the community. I think that we all learned a little bit, but I wanted to take a moment to just acknowledge you being here.
Yeah, man. And I want to thank you. I mean, you started it all, man, for us, and I think it just shows, to your character that, you can still have me on a live stream and you can still have CGC
Yep.
on a live stream, that, you are impartial to, companies, that.
I believe in giving people an opportunity to have a platform and giving other folks an opportunity to evaluate the companies that come onto the platform. You know what I'm saying? I think people have to decide for themselves where they want to spend their money. And technically they can spend their money in both places if they choose to, right? It's up to the individual to decide. And so my thing is, I use both. Other people can potentially use both. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Hey, we're non-impartial. I mean, if you want to use all three of the other companies and use us, that's fine.
Go for it.
I mean, that's fine with us. But just like I said, man, a big thank you to you, because I know, we've had umpteenth conversations, and you've really, there were nights where I was pulling my hair out, and you were definitely like, hey, man, take it easy. This is going to work out. We've had many of those conversations. So, and then with you launching us and having me on tonight, hopefully I can be on in the future. Maybe give progress reports. I mean, however you want to do it. But I just think, just the fact that you care enough to give a company like mine this platform just says it all about your character.
I care, honestly, bro, because you are a part of the community. You started it off with my first conversation with you, and also this live stream was, I am a collector as well.
Yes.
And I think that that's huge. You are of the comic book community, the same way that I am as a YouTuber, the same way as an Instagrammer, the same way as an artist that does sketches. And, I have several of those here in the room and off in the corner. We are all part of the same community. And I think we have to support one another. And so that's what this is about. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who has been here in the chat. There has been a healthy number of people that have been in this chat, that have been discussing the entire time. Shout out to all of you guys for hanging in there, being part of this discussion about EGS and how they're operating. Again, I encourage you guys to spend a little time checking them out. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I definitely want to encourage you to do that so that you can stay abreast of all the content that I release on a weekly basis. And as always, if you guys need to reach out to me, feel free to do so at Regie Collects on Instagram and regiecollects@gmail.com. I look forward to connecting with you guys very soon. Take care.